There you go. Now it's recording in the cloud. Okay, Jackie, thank you so much for being here today. I know you have a baby that needs attention, so I'm going to be straight to the point. So I have Haisa with me. Haisa is somewhere here in the screen. So basically, she is one of the marketers that's going to be working with us. She is the account executive, so she's going to help me like get the things done because sometimes you get distracted, right?
Yeah.
By the way, it's English okay? You prefer Spanish? What do you prefer?
English.
Okay, awesome, awesome, good. So the way this goes, I just need to understand what you do. So if you want to tell me a little bit, like what is your role? When do you take? Because I know you handle like all the appointments, the quotes, all these things. Like you give format to what they do.
Yeah.
So if you can tell me please a little bit about it.
I do the quotes and the invoices,
Mhm.
the contracts. I have to check the emails on a constant basis. I am in charge of all the payments, making sure they're done on time. As I'm regarding payments, I'm in charge of like making personal payments and business payments as well. I'm in charge of workers' comp and the insurance, liability insurance being on time. Anytime that someone needs like a certificate of insurance, I'm the one who does that. I have to contact the insurance and let them know what we need, and then they send it to me, and then I send it to whoever needs it. Um, I do the permits as well. I submit permits. I
Mhm.
submit engineering plans for the permits. I have to call the engineering, his name is Joe. He's like the main engineer that we work with. So I'm on a constant basis call with him because sometimes Antonio doesn't send something correctly. So I have to ask Antonio and then send it to them. So I'm in charge of that.
Mhm, mhm.
Anytime a community needs paperwork, I have to send it to that community as well. Anytime I also have the company phone with me, so
Wow.
anytime
So everything.
yeah, so anytime someone calls me, I have to either make sure if it's a repair, I put it on the repair list. If they need a quote, I send it to either my dad or Daniel. And once inspections are done, I have to request those inspections and make sure the permits are closed. So yeah, that's what basically I'm in charge of.
Okay. So what that's quite a bit. So basically you're the entire back office.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in that is not production, like actually building the thing, it's you.
Yes.
Okay. What is it that you think you need the help the most? Like the thing that you say, like, oh my goodness, if I can fix this, my job will be so much better.
I think it would be like um we get a lot of calls of like now that raining season is like around the
Hmm.
like leakings are starting to happen. And I feel like sometimes I get so overwhelmed by the amount of people that need something repaired. We also work with other subcontractors, and I am the point of contact. So if something needs to be repaired, I have to constantly like be reminding people, and there's like a lot of lack of communication of who, if they do it, if they don't do it.
Okay.
When they're gonna get to do it, you know. Um,
Checking with them and all that. Okay,
yeah,
that makes perfect sense. So
yeah.
see if this makes sense. So basically, if you look at customer acquisition, let's call it
Mhm,
like that, like getting the customers to actually end up paying, right? It
mhm,
becomes like a funnel. So at the top of the funnel is people need to know about you, which they already do because they're rainy season, they saw your truck because somebody referred to you, so they get to that point. But at that point, they need to be managed into the next step, the next step, the next step.
yeah.
So I think that we are having a little bit of a bottleneck here because you're doing so many other things that are all so important that doing this that is important but less urgent may take away from these other things that are urgent that needs to happen tomorrow. You'd have to have the thing approval. You need to get the check sent or received or paid or whatever. So those things are taking like from this thing that are really important, but less urgent. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, basically. Like I already have so much to do that I can't keep like reminding people of like repairs that need to be made.
Yeah, and you can't be on top of everybody. Like, okay,
Yeah,
Antonio, I need you to let me know when you're moving from one place to another so I can do this other thing,
yeah,
or
exactly. Like,
Daniel, help me with this, or yeah, you can't be on top of everybody.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Like, we work with a company and I'm supposed to be sending out like invoices once that, project is done because they take like 2 weeks to pay us. So I don't send the invoice that day. They'll come up with an excuse to not pay us.
and then
But
another week goes by.
yeah, and there's a lot of problems that we're having because Antonio doesn't let me know when they're done. They just move on, and like he assumes I know, but I already have so much on my plate that I can't keep up with where they're going to next.
Okay, so I think that right there, there's a visibility problem because
Mhm.
they think you're doing something, you think they doing something, and that there's a little bit of a disconnect there. Like they
Yes.
don't see what you need, that what you see, and and you don't see what they see. Okay, okay, fantastic. Now tell me, um, let's go to the process with a regular client. So let's take, for example, one of these small ones. Somebody is a leak and they need that repair. They contact you. What would be in the ideal world, like not what is happening right now, but in the ideal situation will be you write it down and then what happens?
I let Antonio know, and then
Mhm.
from there it's like I don't know when he does it, basically.
So eventually he has to give them a quote, right?
Well, when I say leaks, I mean like customers we have that we
Existing customers, so they're
yeah,
already
existing customers that we already have. Let's say we did their pool cage or their gutters or whatever. We did it like a month ago. And then now they're contacting us, letting us know, hey, look, we have a leak. When
so it
can
will
you?
be like a warranty kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's where if we can improve on that, we would have more like good customer outcomes. Because like it's super important to go back, and
Mhm.
continue having a good relationship with that customer. But I feel like that's where we lack because we really, well, Antonio and the crew they don't really go back and fix what needs to be fixed. So that's where I think it's like a big, big, big part.
Okay, because yeah, and I understand because there's no money in the warranty. I mean,
Exactly.
you have to just do it. Okay. So how do you handle that? The warranty side of the equation, how do you handle that?
We only offer 1 year workmanship warranty. So that means like if we did something and then in like 2, 3 months it's not working, like the leaks, we are responsible and we're supposed to cover that. But let's say someone ripped the screen, like our workers will cover
Mhm.
that too. But if it's because of a hurricane, natural disasters, or the owner ripped it on accident, they would have to pay out of pocket to get it replaced.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood. Okay. So but who does the fix? Is it you? I mean, Hamar, or is it you? Because you mentioned that you work with subcontractors. So how does it work?
We're the subcontractor, so we work with bigger companies and they tell
Mhm.
us, hey, go here, and we'll go there. But usually,
Okay.
like the repairs, my dad has like a small, like either 2, 3 guys that go and fix it, but there's not like a specific day they go. They kind of go when they don't have much to do, and Antonio just sends them to go do it.
Okay. So it depends on how busy you are when you're
Exactly.
gonna tackle that. Okay. Is it in your best interest to get that fixed as soon as possible, or it doesn't
Yes,
matter?
um because then they call me all the time and I get very like frustrated because I keep telling them you're on our list, and then they call me again 2, 3 days later and ask me, and I
Hey,
have to,
when are you guys coming? When are
yeah,
you guys coming?
yeah. And it's like
Okay.
I have so much on my plate that I can't keep like, and it's written down. So every time Antonio comes here, he wants the board with like directions, or he wants the board with
Hmm.
things written on there, and the board is there, the list is there, and then I can't really like, I don't know what to tell the customers at some point because I keep telling them like,
You
oh
you, you don't know when it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
exactly.
Okay. Uh, okay. let's say the repair happens, the customer signs something, or how do they, yeah, it was done. How do you know
Um,
what's done? Simply because they stop calling you, or what do you
yeah,
do?
I guess they stop calling me, or like I'll call my dad and tell him, "Hey, did somebody go here?" And he'll tell me, "Yeah, we went there to fix it." But I like again, I have to be on top
You
of
don't know because you don't know if he did it or not.
exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about regular clients. A client comes in, they want a quote. Antonio has to go there, do a little drawing and give them an estimate right there on the paper, right?
So usually it's either Daniel or my dad. Right now it's mostly
Mhm.
just Antonio. He'll go where they want the quote and he'll give them the
Mhm.
price there and then I send like an official quote. So my dad
How
will
long from the quote? When do you, I mean, does he come back home and gives you the paper like, okay, I
no,
gave this
he
quote
texted
today?
He
He
sends it to me
texts.
text message or he'll call me. He'll call me and he'll be like, "Look, I need you to do me a quote. This is the address. This is how much I'm charging." And then since we mostly do them like same thing, he just
Mhm.
tells me, we're gonna use this type of screen, this type of screws, and then I have to send everything else out
Okay.
to memorize it.
And because you know this, I mean, if I was, if I'm the person receiving the quote from your dad, and would I know how to do it, or there's a training or some kind of somewhat way for somebody else to know how to put the quote together in such a way that can be handled out?
It's basically like the same layout. For pool cages, it's the same layout. We just change like how many doors, if it needs to be changed. If the screws need to be changed, you just change that. So I use a Word document that I custom made. And then I
Hmm.
just switch out anything that needs to be switched out. But then there are some times where they're doing something else that's not a pool cage, like pavers or something
Hmm.
then I don't really know much, so they have to tell me specifically what to put on the quote. So I have to write it down, and then once it's written down, I'll send them a picture and telling them, does this look good? Do I need to add anything else? And then once they approve it, I'll send it out to the customer through email.
Can you send me what your dad sends you for a quote and what you put together, like the input and the output of that process?
Yeah, I can try to look for some.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes, like I said, sometimes he just calls me and I just have to write it down like quickly and then I just put it on the Word document.
Okay. So he tells you and you're like typing in as he tells you. Okay. Um, okay, so that at that point you have a quote. Then what happens? How does that quote becomes the actual thing? What happens after you have the document and you send it out to the client? Who
I
follows up on the sale?
mostly it would be Antonio.
So Antonio has to call them up and say, "Hey, listen, we sent you a quote."
it'll either be him or me sometimes. So if he's too
Oh,
busy,
on top of everything, you also sell.
yeah. Well, not so. I just like call
Oh,
them and
you
ask
follow
them.
up on the quote.
Yeah, I do follow up sometimes. Or sometimes Antonio will tell me, can you call this person and follow up on them and see if the price is too high or if they want something added or if they have any questions. Or sometimes if Antonio is nearby, he'll go himself and ask them, like follow up with them.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. Um, So the client says, yes, I want, oh no, the client says, no, no, it's too expensive. So what do you do?
Um, from there, I don't know, that would be up to Antonio. Like either he will go in a couple weeks and see if like they've done it or if nothing has been done, he'll go back and tell them, hey, look, I can reduce the price if you need me to. So yeah. But from there, like it's just up to Antonio.
Hmm. Okay. So he will determine if it's worth reducing the price or whatever. Okay. Um, okay. So they arrive to a decision. Yes, we're going to reduce the price on this. The client says, okay, let's go for it. Then what do you do?
I do the contract and I ask them to sign the contract and they have to give a deposit. So I have to send them a contract and an invoice with the invoice saying they accepted the contract. They need to send this amount for a deposit, and then they usually give a check. And then from there, I have to basically start the permitting process. So I have to start contacting the counties and asking them, do you guys have a site plan? If they don't have a site plan, I have to reach out to the homeowner and ask them for a site plan. And then I also have to ask them to sign some papers that the county asked for the owners to sign. And then I have to send out, once Antonio has that signed contract, he gets a drawing done. He sends it to me. I have to send
Mhm.
it to the engineers. And I have to be on top of the engineers so they can, hurry up with the engineering plan. Once the engineering plan is done, they send it to me and then I have to pay for it. Well, the company pays for it.
Okay, the company pays for the engineering plan.
Yes.
How long does it take for the engineer to do that? Are they usually on time or not?
Right now, not really. We have to basically be on top of them. I have to constantly call them and tell them, hey, I sent this engineering plan 5 days ago. Why haven't we received anything yet? And sometimes well, most of the time they're always like, oh, we're missing this measurement, but
They
they
didn't
didn't,
tell you.
yeah. So then I have to contact Antonio and let him know, and then, yeah. And then once they give me me the construction plans, then I go ahead and I have to make sure that I have I have the permit packet ready, submit it to the county, and then I have to be on top of that. And then once the permit is out, we let Antonio know, I let Antonio know, and then we can begin the construction.
Hmm, okay. Um, so at what point does the client give you some money?
They give
Bef
me, so
Mhm.
it's 3 payments. Oh, every contract we have with the owner is 3 payments. First payment is a down payment. The second payment is for materials usually when the permit is out. We'll tell them, here's your permit. Um, we're gonna begin in next week, but before we begin, we need the check for materials, which is stated on the contract. And then
Mhm.
the last payment is once we're done constructing whatever we're constructing.
Are they equal payments or
Yes, so the first payment is usually depending on how much the contract is for. We usually do 1,500 for down payment. And then let's say we sold a cage that was 20,000. We'll do 1,500 down payment. Then the remaining half for that would be material. Then the remaining half would be, the other half would be for the final. And then that's how it's split in 3 payments.
okay? Um, Antonio mentioned to me the other day when we were talking about this process that it's supposed to be different than how we're doing it right now. Somehow there's like a way to do it. Maybe he was asking for 2 payments instead of three.
Sometimes I guess he asked for just half and half.
Okay. Any issues with that?
Yes, a lot of homeowners don't, they feel sketchy about that. They don't like it. So that's why we try to do 3 payments.
3 payments.
Because if we ask for a small down payment, they're more willing to give it than asking them to give me 50% of the whole
To
thing.
start. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the first thing of the money, and then how do you schedule when you guys are gonna go out and do it?
It just kind of depends what permits we have or what other subcontracting work we have. So usually a permit takes about 2 months. So so let's say the permit comes out and let's say they finally send me a paper saying we need to pay so they can give us the permit. I let Antonio know, hey, look, the permit's gonna be out in about 1 to 2 days. And then he'll tell me, okay, let them know he has his own thing. Like he has his own thing, so I can't really put it on the schedule because he has his own stuff. So he'll tell me, okay, tell them we can begin this date. So then I'll let them know and I'll
Mm.
write it down and I'll remind Antonio, hey, look, you told them you're gonna begin this date. So that's also where there's a bunch of confusion because he gets like he has his own contractors he works with. So out of nowhere,
Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean by
like
that? So he has people that they don't tell you anything about that he gets work from?
yeah, he has like he works with smaller contractors. So sometimes I'll find out that we're doing a job somewhere else that he got it from this contractor, but I didn't know. So it's like a lot of confusion because he doesn't really let me know a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So yeah,
Do you guys have any meeting like every week, every month, every
no,
something to plan? Okay.
not
The
yeah. Sorry.
baby?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're 20 minutes into this. Do you need me to stop? We can stop and reconvene later. That's better for you. Or we
No,
can do a little bit more.
she's fine. Yeah, she
Okay.
just her
Okay.
little
Don't
pinky
worry.
fell.
Listen, I have two kids now. Well, they're 20 and 17. So, but I completely understand. So if you think that we need to stop, just let me know. We're probably 10, maybe 15 minutes away from finishing
Okay.
for today.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fine.
So at some point there's a little bit of confusion on when and who it's supposed to go where
Yeah.
and to do the
And
thing.
then
Okay.
I do my best to like tell him like, hey, can we meet up at the end of the day to go over what needs to be done? Or like I tell him like where are you gonna send the guys?
Mhm.
But most of the time he'll be like, I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow. So then
So
like
there has to be, I mean, right off the bat, I can tell you that guys have to have at least once a week a meeting to figure out what happened this week and what's going to happen next week.
exactly, yeah. And then like the next day there's like he has to think on top of his head, okay, I'm gonna send this guy here, this guy here. And it's
Okay, so
like
how many crews do you people do you have in your crew? How many people do you have in your
right
crew?
now, I think we have about, let me see.
And
We
about, it doesn't have
we
to be a
do have
precise number.
we do have a group chat, where in that group chat, if something is missing, they'll send it out to the group chat. If I need to send out the engineering plan, I'll send it out to that group chat. But I feel like if Antonio would send out like the day before, like who's going where, I feel like that would help a lot too.
And yes, definitely. And it would be nice if like somebody has to jump from one place, like do a quick repair here 2 hours, and then you go to another one. They're close or in the same area or neighborhood or somehow like have a route, like so you know
Mhm.
where you're going and when you're going.
Yeah. So in total,
Okay.
we're about 13, 15 people.
13 or 15 people going in different places.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because we're working in Haisa. Haisa,
Yeah, yes, I'm
do me
here.
a favor. Okay, so do you know when Alejandro is going to have the draft for the website?
He says that he's working, so I hope that tomorrow he will have,
Tomorrow we'll have it. Okay.
yes, the
Okay.
first draft.
So basically, Jackie, what we're thinking is if we have the website, the draft or how we want it to look tomorrow and few refinements, so we can have next week by the end of the week a new website.
Okay.
Um, and the idea is to we're gonna start bringing people, but the problem is we start bringing more clients, and we don't
Mhm.
have this structure like things organized. You're gonna go crazy because you already have a bunch of stuff on top of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I think I have a couple of ideas that we how we can help in organizing in.
And then I'm not
Yes.
like busy all the time because sometimes it's like there's nothing I can do.
Mhm.
Like sometimes there's no invoices to send, sometimes there's no quotes to send, sometimes there's no permits to submit. So it's like I'm just waiting, to
Yeah,
see.
waiting for this to happen, for that to
Yeah.
happen, for this.
So some days I am super busy, but then some days there's nothing I can do. I
Mhm.
just mostly like just stay with my baby because I mean I can stay on top of the emails, which I do, but sometimes like these emails are just things that aren't really relevant, just other
I
stuff.
completely understand. No, I think I can propose a couple of things that will help you. get the
Yeah.
things organized and remove some of the complexity. Not the remove the things that need to be done, but organize in such a way so it's easier for you to see and for everybody to get to do what they need to do. We just need to organize the plan. Okay.
Mhm.
So the work is being done. The plan is being made for the week. Everybody knows where it is, what's happening. And then invoices and payments. Do you ever get like somebody that doesn't pay?
Mm, Sometimes, like I told you, we work with Nova Homes. Nova Homes is one of the main contractors we work with.
Mm-hmm.
It take about 2 weeks to give us the check. But with them, me and Antonio have to be on top of them, because if we're not on top of them, they won't give us the check. So like, let's say they pay every 2 weeks. So let's say I sent out a check 2 weeks ago. I have to call them to remind them, hey, look, I sent you this invoice 2 weeks ago, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, we never got that invoice. So then I have to forward it to them again. So like, sometimes there are some people that they don't want to pay. And when that happens, Antonio's very unhappy, and then everybody's just unhappy.
Yeah. Okay. So we just need to make sure that they got it and everything. So
Yeah.
part of the process is once when the people get the invoice, make sure that they got it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anything else that we're missing in this process from client wanting something to finally get it paid in that process that I'm missing, or kind of covers everything so far?
Yeah, I think you covered everything.
Okay.
Right now, what I am personally struggling with is we have some permits that I'm trying to close. But they're like in Cape Coral that I'm trying to close. And like right now, some of the inspections, I have to submit those, and I'm having like trouble with contacting some homeowners because they go up north. And I need some paper signed or something. And yeah, that's
Can
right
you
now.
can you do electronic contracts? Is that something that you can do? Like
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, go ahead. Mhm.
One look. Okay. Can you say that again?
Yes. Can you do electronic contracts, or you do only physical contracts? Meaning electronic contract is like DocuSign or something like that. You get an email, you click on the button, and you type in your name in a couple of places, and it's signed like that.
I used to do it like that. I used to send out the contracts like that.
Hmm.
But it's because like Antonio has so many things like that he
Hmm.
pays for, that sometimes like I would have to pay for it, and it came to a point that I was basically paying for that program. And
Oh,
Antonio,
okay. But if imagine if it was free.
oh,
If
then
it,
yeah,
it
I would do it like that, because I find it way easier to do it like that. Because sometimes some homeowners don't have a printer, or the printer's not
Mhm.
working. So then like they just ask me, how can I send this to you? I'll mail it to you, and it's just like, okay, like it becomes like a problem sometimes. But when I used to use Adobe. And with Adobe, I would upload the contract and just put where this person had to sign, and it would tell me this person viewed the contract, this person hasn't signed a contract. So then the ones that wouldn't sign it, I would call them and tell them, hey, look, I'm just wondering like if there's something I can do. I feel like when I was using that one, I was able to manage things a little easier, because I was able to physically see who saw the contract but didn't sign it. So I
Okay.
could call them and tell them, follow up with them.
Okay. Just a couple of questions more. I think we're good for today. One is what do you use to manage all this? So I saw that you have like whiteboards, a couple of whiteboards on your desk. What else do you use to handle this? In the computer, do you use what organization system do you use?
Well, I guess it's just like I just use Word document, and then I open up folders. So I open up, I have like different folders for different things. I have a folder for permits, I have a folder for contracts, I have a folder for quotes, and then Word automatically tells you when when you created that file. So then I just kind of look through it and see. That's really it. Because I mean, we don't really have like thousands of contracts a day, you know? It's just like maybe 2, 3 contracts a week, or you know, it's just a little bit, but then sometimes it does pile up. Like I said,
Okay. And
Fleet-
how do you know one particular client, where is it in the process? Like if you're waiting for permits, how do you know it's waiting for a particular permit?
I just kind of have to remember it because I try to write it down, but that's where I also fail because I don't have like a specific thing that tells me where this is in, you know, like I kind of I like write it down in a piece of paper, and then sometimes I'll forget where I leave that paper and I have to redo the list. So I don't really have anything.
No, I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay. I think that's it. I got everything I needed for today. I think I see how can we help you, and a couple of things that we can do to improve without disturbing what you're doing. Like just make it life easier. Okay, so I'm gonna sit back, put everything together, and give it back to you and say, okay, this is what I understood. Is this correct? I'm missing something, because sometimes when
Yeah.
when I sit down and put it in writing, I realize, oh man, I'm missing something here. What is it that I'm missing? So I'm gonna do that and then put it back to you. You tell me if it makes sense or not. Okay?
Okay. Mhm.
Fantastic. Okay, Jackie, thank you so much for your help today, for being patient with me and explaining the process. And give me a couple of days to get this together for you. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Bye.